Hey Homespot fam, welcome. Ready for a visual escape? Today we wander through a rustic wabi-sabi garden where asymmetry, patina, and time-worn textures reveal quiet power. From moss-soft stones to lanterns glowing at blue hour, every scene whispers calm. If you've been craving serenity and soulful design, you're in the right place. Take a breath, slow your pace, and let's step through the gate together. An aged timber gate leans into its years, grain split by sun and rain, welcoming us into a world that values the imperfect. Tall grasses feather the path, brushing stone laid slightly askew. Here, asymmetry becomes an invitation, and time's slow handwriting guides a quieter pace. Crossing the threshold, we notice scuffs, nail scars, and the faint silvering of wood. These traces are not flaws, but fingerprints of weather and memory. The gate frames the landscape like a gentle breath, asking us to soften our gaze and enter with patience and gratitude. In a small courtyard, moss gathers in soft islands, filling cracks between boulders freckled with lichen. The air is damp, close, and thoughtful. A crooked pine stands like an old friend, leaning slightly, holding the balance between weight and hush, texture and tender emptiness. Silence collects in the hollows of stone. The eye slows, noticing filaments of green, the shimmer of moisture, the way roughness catches light. Nothing is arranged to impress. Everything is placed to belong. This is a room without walls, measured in breadths, not boundaries. The path wanders, never straight, guiding feet across irregular stones mottled with leaf shadow. Maple and black pine choreograph dapples of light and darkness, and each step becomes a decision. The garden nudges us toward slowness, honoring the rhythm of patience over the efficiency of haste. Fallen leaves crease underfoot, announcing passing seasons with a softened crunch. Imperfect spacing requires attention, returning the mind to the present. The path is not a shortcut, it is a conversation. With each stone, we listen, adjust, and learn the confident humility of moving carefully. Through bamboo, the distant hills appear like a soft memory, framed by silhouettes of pine. The garden enlarges itself by inviting the world in. Boundaries blur, the near and far converse. We stand between them, a listener to a quiet dialogue of horizons. Layers of depth unfold like paper screens. Foreground texture, middle ground hush, far sky breathing pale light. The composition asks for humility, reminding us our garden is a guest of the landscape beyond. We borrow beauty lightly, return it with care, and leave the frame generous. A stone basin collects a small universe, a ring of moss, glistening edges, and the gentle syllable of water. The bamboo spout speaks in drops, punctuation for the silence. Ferns lean close, like attendants to a ritual where cleansing is more about attention than purity. Kneeling, we meet the basin at its humble height. Here, gratitude grows small enough to hold. The water mirrors leaves and sky, and even our passing face. We wash away hurry and dust, and in the brief wet shine, the day feels more usable and kind. The Roji is not a route, but a preparation, a corridor of earthen path and no bed panels that slows the mind like a closing eyelid. A subdued lantern keeps a quiet watch, its stone skin weathered, its light more suggestion than announcement. Moss lines the edges with a soft margin, asking footsteps to narrow and quiet. We trade chatter for hush, grandeur for texture. By the time the path delivers us to the T threshold, we have arrived twice, once in place and once in spirit. An old stump anchors the scene, its decay a lantern for new life. Moss swells around it in soft hills, tiny seedlings rehearsing forest futures. The landscape is not frozen in youth. It's a chorus where age sings the melody and greenness carries harmony. Close up, rings and rot become scripture. Threads of mycelium, minute ferns, and patient insects weave the stump into tomorrow. The meadow breathes with uneven ground, letting our eyes wander at walking speed. Beauty here is textured, layered, and honest about the cost of becoming. Timber and stone hold a gentle slope in place, not erasing its curve, but respecting it. Ground covers stitch the seams, creeping through crevices and over thresholds. The terraces feel handmade, composed by weather and hands, settling into the hill like a remembered story. Edges remain irregular, a language of half steps and softened corners. The garden does not dominate the land. It cooperates with gravity and time. Retaining walls become resting places for shadows and roots, and the slope wears its structure like a comfortable, well-mended coat. Flat stones skim the pond's edge, inviting a careful crossing where water mirrors sky and reed. The surface holds clouds and lilies together, a dialogue of stillness and small ripple. Each step feels like a promise to be light, to disturb only what must move. Reflections double the world, making trees twice themselves and us slightly uncertain. That uncertainty is welcome. It prompts attentiveness. Reeds whisper, fish turn like punctuation marks, and the edge space holds both shore and water, neither fully surrendered, each more beautiful for sharing the boundary. Beneath a leaning flowering tree, blossoms let go and gather on stone and gravel. The corner becomes a seasonal altar to impermanence, where color settles like snow and then thins with every breeze. The scene is tender, brief, and confident in its necessary ending. To walk here is to accept that beauty arrives and leaves on its own schedule. Petals soften the path and our expectations. We look more carefully because we cannot keep this. The garden teaches not possession, but presence, how to be here, while here is here. A wall keeps some stones, releases others, and wears an ivy shawl that neither hides nor repairs. Gaps open like vowels, letting air and time pass through. The structure survives by admitting that it is failing gracefully, and in that honesty, it becomes complete. Textures translate weather into sentences, pitted faces, loosened joints, a spectrum of grays. The ruin is not spectacle, it's biography. Standing beside it, our own edges feel softer. We learn the elegance of letting some pieces fall so the whole can breathe and belong. A wide gravel court resets the senses, a clearing for the mind. One windswept pine holds the stage with quiet authority, its asymmetry a lesson in balance without mirrors. Space itself becomes a material, carving clarity around a single living line. Footfalls write brief calligraphy in the gravel, then fade. The pine gathers wind, gestures without drama, and points our attention to sky. Nothing here distracts, everything concentrates. The court is an instrument of listening, tuned to stillness, played by breeze, shadow, and time. The meadow loosens the garden's grip, blurring design into woodland. Seed heads tremble, weaving light into motion. Paths dissolve, reappear, and gently mislead, asking us to wander rather than arrive. Maintenance lowers its voice. The meadow speaks in seasons and generous, drifting textures. Edges here are soft, as if the garden is exhaling. Birds stitch between stems, and insects write daily news and pollen. The design lets go without disappearing, trusting wind, drought, and rain to edit. We witness stewardship that favors partnership over control. A narrow walkway threads through bamboo, where combs tilt and murmur like tall metronomes. Light breaks into thin stripes, turning distance into rhythm. The corridor is a moving instrument, scored by wind and leaf, with silence as its most resonant note. Walking here, we are tuned rather than entertained. The body becomes aware of alignment and sway. The ear learns to hear gradient, not volume. The path is simple, but the experience is intricate, composed of breath, shadow, and the choreography of green. Irregular stone steps climb a hillside in measured, human strides. Risers vary, persuading attention and balance. Creeping thyme and moss tuck between treads, softening the climb. The ascent feels earned but kind, a conversation between gravity's insistence and our willingness to rise. Each landing offers a small pause, a place to reset breath and sight. The hillside reveals itself gradually, never all at once. By the top, we have learned something about effort without strain, design without fuss, and the dignity of moving upward at a humane pace. Inside aged plaster walls, a gravel field holds a single upright stone. The restraint is startling, then calming. Shadow becomes geometry, silence becomes structure. The stone is less an object than a question, and the courtyard answers by refusing to add more. We linger because there is nowhere to hurry toward. The wall's patina writes years into surface. The gravel accepts footprints, then forgets them. The space practices radical clarity, asking us to notice what remains when everything extra has been kindly, firmly removed. A fallen log turns horizontal into habitat, supporting ferns, mosses, and small fungi like constellations of renewal. Decay is not an ending, but a bridge. Along the path, this softened wood is a classroom where patience teaches life to begin again inside endings. Leaning close, we see textures of sponge and lace, spores like punctuation marks, and minute roots negotiating darkness. The log holds moisture and memory, offering both to seedlings. We walk away quieter, understanding that the garden's truest promise is continuity through thoughtful surrender. We've crossed weathered thresholds, traced dry riverbeds, and met lantern light at dusk, proof that restraint and time can shape deeper beauty. If these moments sparked ideas for your own outdoor sanctuary, I'd love to hear them. Drop your thoughts below, tap like to support the channel, and subscribe for more tranquil design journeys. Thanks for walking with us. See you in the next Homespot escape.